Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're asking the question, what has happened in your past that is still influencing you till this day? And then we're also going to talk about how is it positively influencing you and how is it negatively influencing you, okay? So we have three piles to choose from. We have pile number 1 with the Biztorte, and we have the Desert Rose Crystal. We have pile number 2 with Fern, and then we have the Lapis Lazuli, and finally pile number 3 with Iris, and then we have the Dalmatian Jasper. So if you guys are new to pick a card readings, it's super easy. Go ahead and pick whichever card or crystal that your intuition is most drawing you to. I do recommend meditating before you do this. It just makes your intuition stronger. But after you pick whichever crystal or pile that you're being most drawn to, go ahead and go to my description box below or the comment section below and click on the timestamp next to whichever crystal or pile that you were most drawn to. And then that will kind of skip you forward to your reading. So I will see you guys at your reading. Bye, y'all. Hey, pile 1, you guys chose the Desert Rose, and then you guys have the Biztorte. So this is really interesting. Actually, before I talk about that, we are going to be asking the question, what has happened in your past that is still influencing you today? And we're going to go over how it's positively influencing you, how it's negatively influencing you, and any advice that the universe or your spirit guides have for you. So with the Biztorte, what I thought was interesting is that this symbol right here represents Earth, and Earth is where you plant your seeds and you watch it grow. So Earth represents physical things like material things, you know, wealth, money, abundance. So right off the bat, something that has happened in your past that is still kind of maybe affecting you today has something to do with physical abundance. So it has to do with abundance, finances, wealth, money, could even be career, but I'm seeing more like money, accountability, abundance. So perhaps one thing that has happened in your past is maybe some of you guys did not manage money very well, or did not manage finances very well, or maybe if you had a good career, it wasn't managed well, something along the lines of that. So perhaps you guys struggled with saving money, or maybe developing new skills that would allow you to save money, or developing habits that would have allowed you to save money, or increase your wealth, or increase your abundance, or maybe do better at a job or career. And yeah, so maybe some of you guys didn't have the best habits. Like your habits were not serving your highest good when it came to your career or finances or abundance or financial growth is what I'm seeing. And one of the negative things that came out of this is maybe some of you guys till this day might still be struggling with like limiting beliefs or limiting patterns, like patterns or habits that are kind of preventing you from growing financially, or growing in your career, you know, allowing your bank account to grow, or some of your habits might not be allowing you to build wealth. And you know, some of this could be also limiting beliefs, like maybe some of you guys deep down, you know, subconsciously don't believe that you can have, you know, the wealth and the money and all of that you want, or like the life you want to live. So maybe there's some limiting beliefs here, or just limiting habits like we discussed before. And sometimes, you know, I feel like this does hinder your ability to receive more money, receive more wealth, receive more abundance, receive a better career, receive a pay raise, something along the lines of that. And but yeah, abundance means just money, finances, material things, you know, wealth, investments. So that's one of the negative things that I'm seeing for you guys, and we're going to get to more cards with other things. But the positive side I'm seeing about this is that I think you guys are starting to take personal accountability for your finances and for your actions when it comes to increasing your wealth, increasing your money, increasing your abundance, growing in your career, career, you know, getting that promotion, getting that pay raise. Like, I feel like you guys are starting to take personal accountability. So I feel like you guys are starting to see the pattern, and you're starting to see what's happening and how maybe your beliefs or your habits have contributed. I feel like especially in 2026, which is right around the corner, you guys are really, really stepping into this role, like where you're really taking personal accountability for your bank account and where money's going, where it's coming in, etc. So I am seeing that's more of the positive thing that is happening, where you guys are seeing it, and I think you guys are being more responsible and taking a little more accountability for your finances. So let's go ahead and pull a few more cards to see what have you gone through in your past, and is there anything that you've learned from it? What is still affecting you from your past till this day? And we'll see what advice, you know, your spirit guides and the universe has for you. Spirit, what have they gone through in the past? And how is that negatively and positively affecting them? And any advice. Let's see. Okay, we have octopus. So let's see what octopus means here. So I was reading the book for this card, and so this card is mainly about priorities, like what are your priorities, you know, multitasking, and yeah, so what your priorities are, multitasking, getting things done, prioritizing what needs to get done first if you feel like there's a lot of things that need to be done. I'm sensing a little bit of you feeling overwhelmed with all these things that need to be done. So for example, in the past, it's possible that you felt very overwhelmed, possibly even burnt out with all the things you needed to do. And I can relate to this. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys went through this or not, but if you're like, okay, so I have to meal prep, and I have to work out, and I have to go to work, and I have to clean the house, you know, and I have to do laundry, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I have to go to the bank, and I have to go buy groceries. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it can feel like a lot. And I believe what's happening or is coming up is in the past, you have been burnt out. You felt like there were so many things you needed to do, and you were struggling to prioritize which ones that you need to do first. I think you were struggling to multitask, and I feel like this does kind of affect you till this day, because there are a lot of things that you wanted to get done or you feel like could have been done, but it's just you were so overwhelmed and possibly struggled with multitasking and prioritizing which things are most important and maybe you need to get done first. So that's one of the negatives of, I think, something that's happened in the past that's still influencing you today. I think it did affect you till this day. Maybe you guys still struggle with multitasking, getting all these things that you need to get done, and prioritizing. But the positive news is that I think that you guys are starting to kind of get it, that maybe you can prioritize from most important to least important, you know, and you don't have to do all of them in 1 week even, or in 1 day. Just do little by little every day, and I think you guys are realizing that this can kind of help you. Another thing that I'm seeing is that, you know, Spirit wants to give you the advice that when you feel like you have your hands full, you know, and you feel like there's a lot on your plate, and there's a lot you need to do, and that you don't have enough time to handle everything, Spirit is saying that's not true. Spirit is saying that, you know, when you do have your hands full, trust that you have enough time to handle it all. And if you don't, ask yourself what needs to be prioritized and decide what is worthy of your attention and what is not worthy of your attention. And this kind of ties me back into this kind of with the finances and everything, because Spirit is saying whatever you're going to focus on is going to grow. So also try getting into that abundance mindset that, hey, I will get enough time to do everything, and I will reach the point where I'm going to be living the life that I want to live, and I am going to be financially stable, and I am going to get all these things done that I want to get done. So I feel like these two cards do kind of tie into each other. And another thing, guys, it's crazy, this card talks about, and I had no idea, this is kind of not related to your reading. Actually, maybe it is, but the octopus has 8 arms, right, which we know, but it has 9 brains and 3 hearts. And it's able to juggle a bunch of different activities as it moves through life. So I guess that kind of does have to do with your reading a little bit, but I had no idea it had 9 brains and 3 hearts. Like, what the freak? Like, I feel like octopus is already so amazing and like a very interesting animal. And now I learned this, and I'm like, holy crap. But anyways, guys, so, you know, with its 8 arms and 8 legs, I guess, with 8 limbs, you know, it has a lot of abundance, right? Like, it can do all these different things with all of its limbs and kind of create this abundance. It can open up, you know, opportunities for more prosperity. So, you know, I feel like Spirit is just saying that, there's another message here, guys, that I just got. Spirit is saying protect your ideas. Okay, so if you have a business idea or some type of idea that you think is going to make yourself wealthy or make yourself more abundant or help you financially or in your career in some way, oh, sorry, that's my doorbell. Spirit is saying protect that and do not share your ideas with anyone until like you really start working on it. I'll be right back. Let me see who rang our doorbell. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, Spirit is saying don't tell anyone your ideas until you get it done, like until you complete it. And because I don't know, I guess just protect your ideas. I don't know if there's anyone around you who would, like, I don't know, steal your stuff or anything like that. Spirit, can you give me more information on what has happened in their past that's still influencing them today, and any advice as well? Okay, so there's one card that flipped over right here called, okay, the Crown. The Crown. So I have gotten this card before. So guys, the Crown, it kind of talks about the same thing that I feel like this card was talking about. The card, anytime this card shows up, it talks about success and achievement. And so when things are going well, that means you're succeeding, you're acting as a leader, you know, you're acting with authority, you're feeling powerful, you're achieving your dreams. But one of the negatives is maybe some of you guys do feel a little bit empty or unfulfilled. Maybe you feel like you're not as successful as you want to be. Maybe you guys feel like your worthiness is linked to your money or achievement or abundance. And that is a huge thing coming forward, where I feel like you guys are always trying to hustle and like do really well financially and, you know, try to work hard. Because I feel like your worthiness or self-worth is linked to your finances and your success, but you know, that's the furthest thing from the truth, because you guys are worthy no matter what. You know, even if you are homeless or like poor, you're worthy just as much as like a billionaire is, you know. So that is one message that is coming through. I do believe something has happened in your life in the past that has made you feel kind of not worthy, and has affected your self-love. Maybe we're going to get to tarot cards soon, and that will give us more information on exactly what. But I think it is affecting your finances till this day, because Spirit is saying no matter how much you climb, no matter how much you push and push and push and achieve all these things or try to achieve all these things for your career, your finances, etc., it's never going to be enough. Like, even if you become a billionaire, you're still going to be maybe feeling something, you know, like feeling like unworthiness, or feeling like you still don't have enough, or maybe still feeling not as worthy even when you're like a billionaire. So, you know, because there is something in the heart that needs to be fulfilled as well. But let's get to this other deck right here. Let's see what messages this has. Spirit, can you give me messages for pile number 1? What else do they... Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay, so this card came out, and we have protection as well. And I also, guys, got the word restlessness. So it's like Spirit is saying that you guys feel restless. Like, you guys are feeling restless. And Spirit is saying no matter how much you achieve, you're still going to feel a little bit restless, you know? And so we have to try to answer why you feel restless and how do we fix that restlessness. So let's see, let me get more information on these cards. Okay, sorry guys. I went ahead and moved that card up here. So one thing that I'm seeing with this card right off the bat is that you guys are you're a doer. And I kind of mentioned this before, that I feel like you're a hustler, you're a doer, you get the ball rolling. I feel like if there was a group of people, like let's say you were a team, you would be the one to initiate things, get the ball rolling, set plans into action. But what I'm getting is that, yeah, so like I was saying, I feel like with this card, some of you guys might have really extravagant taste, or like very luxurious taste in things. Maybe some of you guys desire to live a very luxurious life, or a very luxurious lifestyle is what I'm seeing. And some of you guys are maybe working or trying to make money in the field of public relations or sales. I'm seeing public relations or sales. And for some of you, it could be in social media or influencing or content creation. Spirit is saying this is a very good field for you guys. You know, just be consistent and keep working hard. Again, if you feel like the octopus card, you have a lot of things on your plate, prioritize, make a list and prioritize the ones that are the most important to you, and get those done first, and then go through the others. And you don't have to do everything in one day, you know, so that way you don't get overwhelmed. But another thing that I am seeing here with the protection card is that I think maybe some of you guys do have the need for recognition, and sometimes you do have the need for seeking approval or seeking validation from others. And again, this kind of has to do with your you know, you building wealth or accumulating a lot of wealth and abundance. I feel like it's directly tied to you needing validation or seeking approval from others. Again, this goes back to maybe your childhood or like earlier in your life, you know, where for someone or something really affected your self-love and self-worth. And that is kind of peeking through here. And Spirit just wants to tell you that you guys are worthy, you guys are whole, whether you're broke or whether you're wealthy. So just something that's coming through, and I think we already talked about that. But another thing that's coming through with this card is that maybe some of you guys want to buy a property or want to run a business from your house, or maybe you already have a property or you already have a business that you run from home, or that you run a business in general. But that's kind of coming through here. But for some of you guys, I don't know if you guys had a lot of responsibility on your shoulders when it comes to your family. Like, I don't know if you're very responsible for your family or the well-being of your family, or maybe you're responsible for the financial well-being of your family, or if you guys have any issues with your family, something like that is coming up. But something in the past that has happened is that maybe some of you guys were moving in the past more reluctantly or maybe more hesitantly when it comes to your finances or business plans. And you guys were a little bit hesitant in the past or not too sure of yourself. And I think this is influencing you till this day, because maybe you guys have some regrets about that. This could, yeah, like maybe like you guys have some regrets about moving reluctantly or more hesitantly when it comes to some business things or financial related things. Maybe you guys feel like you could have taken more risks or been less hesitant or less reluctant because you feel like you could have achieved more, you know, if you had done that. That's something I'm seeing. But I think that, you know, the positive thing about this is that you are seeing your patterns, and this is changing, especially in 2026. And again, you guys are going to get what you want. You are going to gain a lot of abundance. And so, you know, Spirit is saying keep going. I'm going to pull some tarot cards now, so let's look at that. So let's look at what has happened in pile number one's past that is still influencing them today. What has happened? Okay, so we have, I'm just going to take the first card I'm seeing that comes out, and then we'll put the rest back in the pile. So we have the, let's see, what is this? This is the Five of Pentacles. Okay, Spirit, what has happened in the past that's still influencing pile number one today? This is again related to your finances, guys. Wow, I feel like this whole reading was like finances. That's so wild. I was not expecting this. When I said I was going to do this reading, I was not expecting for me to get that message. Okay, so we have Justice that came out. Okay, so Five of Pentacles and the Justice card. And we also have the Ace of Pentacles that came out. Spirit, what has happened in pile number one's past that's still influencing them today? Uh-oh, there's a sticker that came off. Sorry guys, there's a little sticker that came off. I'm gonna put it back on. Okay. Spirit, what can you tell me about pile number one? And what have they been through? Okay, here's one that came out. We have the Knight of Swords. Okay. And we have the Hermit. Okay. And we have the, I'm going to take the card on the bottom, I just messed my whole setup, is the King of Swords in reverse. Let me fix all this. Okay guys, so what I'm seeing here is that in your past, there was a period where you guys genuinely struggled financially with the Five of Pentacles here. So this wasn't just about money. I feel like you guys like really struggled financially. Like it wasn't just like, oh, you don't have a lot of money. It was, I feel like, more than that. And I feel like, you know, in your past, you were left feeling kind of unsupported or abandoned, especially when it comes to your finances. So you did struggle financially. You might have felt like you were doing everything you could, but still kind of falling behind. And I feel like this created a deep sense of scarcity and like insecurity that stayed with you till this day. So this is your past, and your past of like not having a lot of money financially still definitely affects you till this day. We have the Justice card here, and I feel like this is very important. This tells me that financial hardship wasn't just random. Maybe some of you guys struggled legally, like there was a either legal matter or some decision or contract or this could even be, if it's not legal, this could even be just a situation where you guys felt like things were very unfair for you, like things were just unfair. You know, you probably felt like, why are some people blessed and born into financial wealth and why are some people struggling like me? So I do see that coming up here. But I also see that an opportunity did come from this. So, you know, one positive thing about this kind of past struggle financially is that, you know, you were able to get opportunities, and this kind of financial hardship or just hardship in general really forced you to become more responsible. And we kind of saw that earlier in your reading, where I feel like this really forced you guys to, you know, step into accountability, become more responsible financially, more aware of where your finances are going. And this also made you become more focused long-term on stability. Like, I think you guys really prioritize being financially stable. And yeah, and I feel like emotionally, you guys are still operating as if everything could be taken away from you at this moment. So emotionally, and the way you guys navigate your finances and through life, you're still kind of in that scarcity mindset or that lack mindset. And I think I'm glad I pulled these tarot cards, because I think that's what was trying to come out before, but I couldn't quite really put it together. But this is showing me where I think that your hustle financially and you being so focused on finances is coming from. I feel like there is some need for validation and all of that, but I think it's also because of what you went through in the past, and you having kind of still sometimes a scarcity mindset or a lack mindset. Yeah, and I feel like, you know, even when something good happens to you financially, a part of you can't fully relax or trust it or accept it, because again, you're kind of living in that mindset that this could be ripped away from you at any minute. With the Knight of Swords, I feel like after this financial hardship, you guys have had to move really fast. You've had to make important and quick decisions, and you guys have worked pretty hard. You guys have worked harder than a lot of people, and I also feel like maybe some of you guys were rushed into choices out of fear fear rather than confidence, and you learn to react instead of pausing and thinking about things when money is involved. With the Hermit card here, I'm seeing that you guys, this kind of horrible experience, or you not having a lot financially in the past, I feel like this has made you, like forced you to become more independent and self-reliant and a lot more private when it comes to your money. I feel like you guys don't easily share your financial status or your financial worries, or even the pressure you guys are carrying alone. I feel like you guys kind of learned that if I don't handle this myself, no one else will. Like, this is up to me. And that's kind of how you guys are operating. And finally, with the Knight of Swords reversed, actually this is the King of Swords reversed. So with the King of Swords reversed, this explains how the past is still affecting you today. So this shows that you might still have some self-doubt in your decision making when it comes to finances, or you guys might question your own logic. You might overanalyze things. You guys might fear, kind of getting on the wrong path, or fear losing your stability. So that just kind of shows that. There is a strong indication here that someone in your past kind of like screwed over authority, or like gave you some poor advice, or manipulated a situation that kind of, left you with some trust issues as well. So I'm kind of seeing that here. But the main advice Spirit has for you is that you guys are not powerless in your story. This kind of, issues that you've gone through early, or in your early in your life, or in your past, these lessons weren't meant to make you fearful. It was more to make you more discerning and help kind of reclaim your independence and confidence, and step out of survival mode. Spirit is saying that you guys are very capable of making very strong, intelligent financial decisions now, and you guys don't need to second guess yourself, and that you got this. You're gonna get what you want, and you're gonna be even more stable in the future financially. So guys, that's what I have for you. If any of this resonated, pile number one, you have to leave me a comment below. I'm very, very curious if this resonated at all. And if it did, tell me like what part, because I read all of my comments. I'm very curious. So I will be looking out for your comment, pile one. And I will see you guys at the next reading. Bye, y'all. Hi Pile 2, welcome back. And today we're asking the question, what happened in your past that is still influencing you till this day? And what are some negative aspects of it? What are some positive aspects of it? So right off the bat, well, first of all, you guys chose the Lapis Lazuli, which I'll set there. But right off the bat, with the Fern card, what I'm noticing is that this is the earth symbol. So the earth symbol, or earth in general, symbolizes something physical, like your physical reality. This can mean your home. This can mean your finances, abundance, material wealth. So just physical things. So in particular though, with the Fern, what I'm getting is that maybe in your past, this could be way back then, or this could even be a recent past, but in the past, you guys had a change of environment, or a change of a situation. So for example, either you guys got a new job and now you moved to a new office, or this could be that you guys are living in a new state, or a new city, new country. This could even be that you guys are moved somewhere and are living in a new home. This can be some type of change. So some type of change that happened in your life that required you to adapt. So you guys had to adapt to this change. It was a big change. It could be like changes in location, but it could even be life changes, like either new family members coming in, having kids, or maybe you living alone for the first time. Some type of major change in your life that required you to kind of adapt, like change yourself and kind of adapt to your, like this new way of living, or this new life. So like there's a message here that if you guys are finding your life circumstances difficult, that just know that you guys will make it through the hard times. You will make it through these challenges. So I think that you guys are adapting. You know, you have adapted to this change. You guys are very resilient. So that one of the positive things that came out of this huge change is that you guys kind of realize how resilient and how strong you guys really are, and that you're able to survive through anything. But some of the negative things that kind of came out of this huge change is that you really kind of struggled to adapt. You did adapt, so you definitely did adapt, but it was hard. It was a huge change, and it was, you know, a struggle, but you survived it. You adapted through it. You were resilient, and you know, now you know that you can make it through any tough time. Anything life throws at you, you guys are going to be resilient, and you're going to make it through, since you made it through this. I can kind of relate to this. I can share something with you. I did move to a whole new state. I live in the US, so I moved to a whole new state like 2 years ago. And this change was really rough for me because I missed my family, I missed my friends, I missed my dog, I missed my cat. It really forced me to make, you know, to really like this huge change, as I missed everything, and now I'm around new people because I got married, so I'm around like my husband's family more. I'm meeting all these new people. I'm meeting his friends, his family, and it was just way too big of a change for me, and I really struggled. I struggled a lot, but I mean, now I'm okay. Like, I like my new place now. I've gotten used to everything. I've adapted. I've had to change a little bit, but I got used to my environment, and I did realize how strong I had to be and how strong I can be. So that's just a little example, if any of you can relate, but this can literally be any situation where you had a major change. And you know, again, this could be changing of families, this could be changing of environment, career, you know, whatever. But you guys are very resilient. You've made it through, and so that was one of the things that happened in your past, and I think this still influences you today because, you know, maybe you guys are still adapting a little bit. Like, you guys are doing a lot better, but you're still kind of having to get used to this change, maybe still trying to adapt a little bit, still getting used to this. And Spirit just wants to tell you that you guys are doing really well, and things are going to get better and better and better. And this challenge that you had, you know, made you stronger, is here to make you stronger, and it's prepping you for, you know, whatever comes in your path next, that you guys are going to be, you know, resilient, and you're going to make it through, and you're going to do amazing. Let's go ahead and see what other message is here for you. What has happened in your past that's still influencing you today? Let's look. Spirit, can you give me more information on what's happened in pile number 2's past that still has... Ooh, okay. We have the vulture. Interesting. The vulture. So vultures deal with death, right? So for example, when there's an animal that's dying on the side of the road, vultures usually swoop in and start kind of cleansing the meat off of the dead animal, and just kind of feeding on, you know, the decay and the flesh of the dead animal. And since vultures kind of sometimes have to do with death and decaying, death sometimes also means, you know, kind of cleansing away the old, bringing in the new. It usually also symbolizes transformation. It symbolizes change. So I think that this card represents change, getting rid of the old, bringing in the new, and transformation. So something that recently happened in your past, could even be recent past, could even be like a long time ago, but something that's happened is, again, kind of with the Fern card, where you've had to kind of go through a huge transformation in your life. Again, this could be either your, this could be any area of your life. The only examples that keep popping into my head is like moving to a new location, or moving to a new career, or a new job, or even like a new family, moving in with a new family, or maybe a new family moving in with you. Some type of drastic change in your environment or in your life. This could even be actually the passing away of someone in your life. That's kind of brought on a lot of change in your life, and you are just trying the best that you can to navigate this change. It's been a huge change, and you've had to adapt a lot, but again, you guys are doing a good job. So I feel like, again, something happened in your past that caused this huge change, this huge shift in your life that's made you kind of have to create a lot of changes in your life and get used to this new phase in your life, get used to this new life and this new you, even probably, because I'm sensing change, transformation here. But again, Spirit said you guys are doing a very, very good job adapting. So the positives that's come out of this is, again, we kind of discussed this before, the positive is how strong you are, how resilient you are, and how great you are at, like, you know, adapting and you know, changing according to your environment and things that life, you know, brings your way. Some of the negatives are that it is hard. It's very hard to navigate these changes and this new phase in your life. And I think this did kind of affect you in a way where there's another message here that could be, I guess, in the, you know, some of the negatives that came out of this situation in your past that still influence you today, is that Spirit is saying to look at your own wits to solve problems. Like, don't look outside of yourself, look within yourself to solve certain problems. And also there's a message here, kind of like the vulture, to wait for the right opportunities, and once those right opportunities come in front of you, to swoop in like a vulture for the kill. Like, grab that opportunity, snatch it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but Spirit is saying that wait for the opportunity. As soon as the opportunity comes in front of you, and I guess this can be in any area of your life, like a vulture, swoop in and just grab that opportunity. Maybe someone needs to hear, maybe someone here needs that message where a vulture always waits for the right opportunity to eat or to feed itself. So, you know, that's what I'm seeing. I am seeing for some of you guys, there's, you know, there is a death of your old identity in order for a new one to emerge. So maybe this major change in your life, you've had to kind of, like, I guess your old self had to die off, right? And now there's a new you coming in. I'm also seeing that as well. Okay. Spirit, can you tell me about what has happened in pile number 2's past that is still influencing them today? How is it influencing them? And can you give me the positives and negatives and advice? Let's see. How is this still influencing pile number 2? Okay, we have the tree. Wow. So we were just talking about, like, earth, like the physical, right? Like how we have the earth symbol here, which means like the physical reality. It means earth, it means material things, it means sometimes even money, you know, finances, abundance. And, you know, and it looks like the reading is sticking with the earth theme because we have the vulture, you know, which, you know, also kind of cleans up earth, honestly, because when there's an animal that's dying and it's decaying there, the vultures come in, clean everything up, right? And now we have the tree. Like, what is more earthly than a freaking tree, guys? So it looks like we're still sticking with the theme here. And there's a lot of green too, which symbolizes earth. There's green. So, okay, with the tree, there is a message here that says everything that leaves returns in another form. Okay, everything that leaves returns in another form. So guys, if someone's watching pile number 2, and if you've recently lost a loved one, this could even be a pet, this can be, you know, a person that you were very close to, or even if it's a person that you weren't close to, just, you know, anyone that you've lost recently in your life. This is your sign that they're present and they're listening to your prayers and they're listening to you talk. And they are looking over you, okay? So with this card, this tree symbolizes the passing of time and the connection between earth and even the spiritual realm. So someone here, I think, needs to hear that, you know, everything is connected. The spiritual realm, earth, everything is connected. And while some things have passed and changed their form, nothing is ever lost forever. Okay, so when it comes to connections that you form with people you love, this can be anyone. These bonds will last forever. Love transcends time and space. This energy will return back to you. And honestly, like for some of you guys who believe in reincarnation, I know some people don't, but energy is energy. And some cultures believe that your loved one can even return back to you as in the shape of a new friend. This could be like a stray puppy that you find and you rescue and they become part of your life. This could even be flowers blooming in your garden, So, and this can even be them looking over you and coming to you and listening to you in spirit, okay? Because we do have a spiritual realm. So this can be anything. And just know that your loved ones on the other side are watching over you. You haven't lost them. They've only transcended into another form. Again, they can be in the spiritual realm, like hearing you, listening to you. Spirit is wanting me to tell you that this is your sign. This is a sign that they are present and they are listening to you and they are hearing your prayers. Okay, so they are around you. They're watching over you. I think that for some of you guys who've lost something, you could have been feeling very ungrounded. You could have been experiencing sorrow. But one of the more positive things that comes out of this is that you're going to be receiving signs from your loved ones that have passed. And you're going to be feeling a lot more grounded. You're going to be more connected with the spiritual realm. And you're going to be more prepared for all the uncertainties that life throws your way. So that's a huge message I'm seeing here. This might resonate for some of you. Again, passing of a loved one or a pet, but for other of you who have not really had a situation where a loved one has passed, this just means that change is important because it does prepare you for all the uncertainties and all the crazy ups and downs that life brings. So if you have dealt with major change recently that you were kind of struggling with, just know that it was all meant to happen. It's all part of the plan, and your spirit team is with you and they are watching and they are guiding you through the change, and you're doing a very good job handling it. I do feel called to pull from this deck. I don't think I used this deck in the last pile, but my intuition was just telling me to pull one from here. So let's see what we get from this. Spirit, can you give me, it looks like this defense mechanism. So I wonder if after what happened to you guys, in your past, your recent past that we kind of just talked about, or even what we talked about in the beginning, sorry, these cards are bent, so I'm trying to straighten it out here, but maybe it's caused you to become a little more defensive as well. This could just be like a coping mechanism from what happened. I'm not sure if you guys sensed that or not. It might be that for some of you this is not the case, but maybe for some of you who have gone through some of this, there's like some type of defense mechanism. You have your walls up, you have your guard up. This is kind of talking about that. I do want another card from this deck. Oh, that was quick. Okay, so this deck I did use in the previous pile. So inspiration. Okay, so we have inspiration. So we have here Mercury in Pisces. So Mercury is known for being like a very like volatile planet, like meaning there's a lot of changes happening. It's not considered like a very stable planet. It's very like, mercurial. The word mercurial comes from, like very sudden changes or shifts and, ebbs and flows. And we already know that you guys went through a recent change that kind of really was hard for you, And again, this could be a change in your environment. This could be like a new family. This could be even a loss of a family member or family, or the loss of a loved one. And this card is showing that maybe some of you guys kind of were coping with this by like withdrawing. Maybe you guys have become a little more introverted, or you're maybe more lost in your thoughts, like daydreaming a lot more. I'm not sure if some of you guys are doing this, but you know, whatever the shift was, it is still influencing you till this day because, you know, for some of you guys, you do have your defenses up, you have your guard up. Again, if you've gone through any major change, a very hard change, you know, like it's normal to have your defenses up and not trust anyone yet. And especially with this card, you know, this signifies that maybe you guys are a little bit in the dream world. Maybe you guys are daydreaming a lot more, lost in your thoughts since, you know, this thing happened in your past. And, you know, for some of you guys, Spirit is saying that there is some wishful thinking happening. There is a little bit of confusion. There's a little bit of daydreaming and just kind of, you know, imagine you being kind of caught up in your imagination, daydreaming, wishful thinking, having your defenses up a little bit is what I am seeing. But again, Mercury is a planet of change. So definitely, you know, the main key thing here in your reading so far is like there has been some major change and it was very, very difficult for you emotionally. It caused you to, it's affecting you till this day because it caused you to have your defenses up. And it looks like a lot of you guys are still coping through daydreaming, etc. And let's get one more from this deck. Spirit, oh, okay. These cards want to just come right out. So a lot to say. Spirit has a lot it wants you to know, guys. So we have discovery. Oh my god, Mercury again, guys. Mercury again. This deck has a lot of different planets, you know, including the moon, etc., the sun, and the fact that we got Mercury twice, the planet of change, is here again. Major change you guys had to go through in your past, a huge shift, you know, kind of like we talked about. This could be a change in your environment, this could be a change with that happened within your family, could be a loss of a family member, could even be an addition of a family member, could be you moving to a different state or a different home, or it could even be you changing your career, like something major, like a major shift happened that really like this is like a landmark change in your life, you know, like in the future if you were to tell someone about your life story, this would be mentioned, whatever happened in your past. And again, this could be your recent past too. It doesn't have to be too long ago, but for some of you guys it could be. And it's still affecting you till this day. I'm also seeing for some of you guys with this card here, so this is Mercury in Sagittarius now. I feel like you guys are slowly becoming more optimistic. So that's one of the more positive things that came out of this. You know, it's still affecting you, whatever this major change was. It's still affecting you till this day. It's still influencing you, but you're getting a lot better at coping with it. You are becoming a lot more positive. And I don't know if some of you guys want to travel or have traveled, or if this travel has to do with this major change that happened in your life. For some of you guys, maybe you met someone and after meeting that person you moved to a new location. It could be that some of you guys want to travel as well. So there's something about travel here. Like maybe for those of you who moved to a new place or a new country, you know, new state, etc., new home, new location, maybe some of you guys wanted to expand, you know, like deep down unconsciously wanted to expand, you know, wanted to try new things. You kind of wanted an adventure, but then once you did move, or you know, that change did happen, it did affect you a lot. So that's maybe what I'm seeing here. But there's a message coming up basically, guys, that, you know, someone's going to be visiting you from abroad. This could be family members or etc. I am seeing that. It could be even this change, like you guys moved abroad. You know, maybe some of you guys even had to learn like a foreign language now, you know, because maybe the place you guys moved to, they speak a different language. I do see that some of you guys are going to be either making a very close friend that will help you through this, or you're going to have like a new mentor, or maybe even some type of religious figure. If you guys are religious and you go to church or you go, you know, to temple, etc., like maybe someone there will be helping you, like a religious figure, some type of mentor. I am seeing that. And I think you guys are going to becoming more, some of you guys are going to become more spiritual, or are maybe already becoming more spiritual or more religious to kind of help you cope with all of this. And it is going to help you for sure, is what I'm seeing. So some of the negatives, you know, again, is that whatever happened, this major change is still affecting you till this day. But for some of you guys, this major change, the more positive aspects of it is that it did broaden your horizon. You know, it did give you a unique experience, more of an adventure. You know, and for some of you who have dealt with the loss, again, you know, you guys are becoming more resilient and you guys are coping with it very well, and you are coming out of it. Oh my god, guys, I feel like I was talking to myself this whole time. I decided to go ahead and shuffle the tarot, and I thought it was recording as I was shuffling, but it wasn't, so I apologize. So we have the Judgment card, okay? So Judgment, and then Spirit, what has happened in pile number 2's past that's still influencing them today? Okay, so it looks like this flipped over. The Hierophant flipped over, so reversed. Okay, it's so strong. It's so hard to kind of put these cards, you know, in a straight line because I think my table's slippery. Spirit, please tell me about what happened in pile number 2's past that's still affecting them. Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles. So 7 of Pentacles. Okay. And Spirit, what else? What happened in pile number 2's past that is still affecting them? Okay, we have the Moon. Okay. And let's get more. Okay, and we have the Queen of Cups. Okay, y'all. So with the Judgment card right here, I feel like you guys experienced like this major wake-up call, like something forced you guys to see some type of truth, or something forced you guys to kind of wake up a little bit. This was a realization that kind of shook you, or some type of, you know, again, like something you went through that really shook you to your core. And you know, and I think some of you guys probably, whenever this happened, this thing in your past, I think a lot of you guys even stopped and probably thought like, hey, I don't think I can even go back to who I was before after this. Like, I think this has made me a completely new person. That's how major this thing was that you went through. And again, this could have been some type of ending or some type of new change. This could have been a decision you made, but your reality was completely like shifted and changed. So with the Hierophant reversed, you know, this is huge. So this tells me that whatever happened to you in the past caused you to break away from some type of system, either religion, belief, tradition, or even some type of authority figure that you once trusted. Again, whatever happened to you, I feel like kind of the way it influenced you and probably even influences you till this day, is it caused you to break away from some type of system, some type of religion, or some type of belief system, or some type of tradition, some type of culture, or even some type of authority figure that you once were part of or that you once trusted. Again, this break, you know, or like what you had to break away from, this could have been a relationship, this could have been family expectations, this could have been, you know, religious or cultural structure that you had to break away from. This could have been a workplace or a career, or even an identity, even like maybe an identity of yours that you were raised to believe in, and you stopped following the rules because you feel like those, whatever that was, kind of failed you. So that's what I'm seeing with this. Guys, leave me a comment below if that resonated. I really want to hear from pile number 2, because this was the deepest reading I think I've done in a long time. So, but with the 7 of Pentacles, this shows that you had to put in a lot of time, effort, and emotional investment. You poured yourself into something for a very long time, and you believed that it would grow into something stable. And I think when it didn't, or when it was ripped away from you, or when this major change happened, you were left questioning whether all of that effort went to waste. Maybe you kind of felt like, did I give too much or did I give too little? Something about that here. This message here is a little bit unclear, but with the Moon, I feel like, you know, whatever happened in your past, you know, the Moon tells me that the aftermath wasn't you feeling more clear about things. It was more like after whatever happened in your past, you felt more confused. There was confusion, there was doubt, there was self-doubt, there was like emotional brain fog. You might have second guessed yourself for a long time after this change. Like, did I make the right decision? Or like, what just happened? Like, did this really just happen to me? You know, is this really my life? Like, is this really my life right now? Because I don't like this. I think you felt uneasy. You might have felt uncertain about trusting your instinct, or you know, fully understanding what went wrong. I feel like you guys felt uncertain about how did this happen to me. I feel like there's still some, till this day, the way it's influencing you is that there's still some lingering emotional thing here. Like, there's still an emotional imprint here. Like, I think you guys still feel like anxiety, fear, maybe sometimes, feeling like something just wasn't right, or you know, like there's still a little bit of like you not feeling 100%. Although it's getting better for you guys. It is getting better slowly, but it still doesn't feel 100% right. But finally, with the Queen of Cups, this experience, it did not break you. It did not ruin your life. I mean, it felt awful and it felt heavy and you felt unsure and you felt confused, but it did not ruin your life and it did not break you. It deepened you. Okay, the best way I can describe this is that you became more emotionally intuitive, you became more empathetic, you became more sensitive to energy and the truth. You learned how to feel without losing yourself. I mean, it was really, really hard, but you also, you know, laid down a bunch of boundaries with people, or even emotional boundaries. And you guys are still mastering them, so you're still dealing with this, but it's a lot better for you guys, and it's going to keep getting a lot better. You are far more emotionally intelligent now compared to before because of everything that's influenced you. I feel like what is still influencing you today is not the pain you experienced, but it's the wisdom you gained, and it showed you how resilient you are and how you can literally, like, if you went through this, like, you can go through anything. You're very strong, and you know that it's going to take adjustment, but you're going to brush yourself off and you're going to pick yourself up and you're going to be okay. Yes, you're more cautious now. I feel like you're more reflective, maybe a little bit more introverted too, is what I'm getting, possibly after all of this. But you're a lot more compassionate, intuitive, emotionally aware, and I feel like a lot more spiritual. Like, I feel like your soul with this went through a rebirth. And while the chapter was very, very painful, it did shape you into who you are today. You feel more deeply, you understand more deeply, you love more strongly. And you know, I feel like this just kind of set a whole new bar when it comes to your soul. So this past change that you went through, it was not meant to break you. I think you guys became more spiritually aligned, and you're still carrying pieces of it. It's still influencing you till this day, but things are gonna get better and better for you guys. And you know, in the future, when you look back at this time, you're gonna smile. Like, yes, you're gonna know how hard it is, but you're also gonna know that it's kind of made you who you are, and that you can literally go through anything, and this is just a part of life. Like, life is all these ebbs and flows, ups and downs, that's life. You know, if bad things or things that were really hard didn't happen in our life, then we wouldn't know or even appreciate the good things either, you know, because you kind of have to see one side of the other. So that's basically what Spirit wants me to tell you. Pile 2, this was such a deep reading, probably the deepest reading I've done. If you pick this pile, please leave me a comment below, and please tell me what experience you went through, because there's a bunch of different experiences here, like the loss of a loved one, or even, you know, changing and moving to a different country or a different state, or, you know, maybe a different career, or maybe a loss of a family member, or maybe an addition of a family member. Like, there was a lot of things going on here, so please let me know what you experienced in the comment section below. I read all of my comments. I will be looking out for that comment pile too, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, y'all. Hi, pile 3. You guys chose the Dalmatian Jasper, and today we're asking the question, what happened in your past that's still influencing you till this day? We'll talk about some ways that this is positively influencing you, some ways that it's negatively influencing you, and just how it's influencing you overall. So you guys have the Iris. So right off the bat, I feel like something happened in your past that made you, I guess, less willing or less receiving. Like, it kind of took your divine feminine energy away, where I feel like you had issues with like receiving. You had issues asking for help from others. You had you know, like you had issues expecting good things to come to you. You know, maybe you guys felt like um yeah, so I'm gonna get more information on exactly what happened to cause this, but one of the things could be that maybe in the past, you know, people had to lean on you, and you know, you were the one who was giving to everyone. You were the one who was giving to people, you know, taking care of people. People would ask you for help, you know, so maybe a lot of people were leaning on you in some way or another, but now, you know, Spirit wants you to start practicing receiving help and receiving things and expecting good things to happen to you and come to you, because whatever happened in your past kind of like took that away from you. Again, this could be maybe for some of you, maybe you're the oldest in the family, so a lot of people leaned on you, asked you for help, or maybe something happened in your life to where, you know, you had to give too much. You know, you weren't receiving much, but you were the one giving and giving and giving and doing things for others. And then you kind of forgot about your divine divine femininity. And again, this doesn't matter if you're like male, female, or whatever, you know, you identify with, but you know, divine, everyone has a divine masculine and a divine feminine energy. But for you, your divine feminine energy was compromised a little bit due to something that happened in the past. And again, we're going to get more information on exactly what happened or what this is. But I feel like in the past, you guys were asked to carry a lot more on your shoulders than others around you. For some reason, you had some type of like role. There's even a message here that you guys became like the more emotionally mature one, or you had to become the more emotionally mature one because of something that happened in your past. You might have been the person again that others leaned on, confided in, or expected, or that other people expected you to have all the answers. You know, like I feel like it placed a lot of pressure on you in the past to always have to be the strong one, always be the composed one, always be the one that has it together, always be the one that's above and all the drama or anything around you. And I feel like what still influences you till this day is this deep belief that you have to earn good things, and that maybe some of you guys struggle with self-worth, you know, like that you must earn good things or receive good things by being worthy or noble or like spiritually aligned, rather than you just being amazing because you were born on this planet and you deserve it and you deserve to receive it. So I feel like you learned early on that I feel like some of you guys even learned early on that you have some type of special gift. This could even be like if you guys are psychic or you guys naturally are very intuitive spiritually. But I feel like, you know, for some of you guys, you had to learn to suppress your own needs. So you had to learn how to quiet and suppress your own needs while helping others or tending to others. So but I do feel like you guys are very spiritual. I feel like you guys are very connected to signs, synchronicities, intuition, spirituality. Like maybe you guys notice repeating numbers, symbols, dreams, you know, things that are happening that are way too coincidental for it to just be a coincidence. But the way this is affecting you today is that you have become someone who is very emotionally open, you're very spiritually receptive, you have a very deep intuition, and I feel like you guys are very patient, you know how to hold space for others, and I feel like that pattern is still influencing like how easily, like this thing that happened in your past, like with people having to lean on you, etc. I feel like this pattern is still influencing you till this day, because I feel like you guys maybe just don't allow abundance, love, or help easily into your life, you know? I think you struggle with that, like receiving things, receiving help, asking for help, like we talked about. But Spirit wants you to know that you don't have to prove your worth to anyone, and you don't have to be ready or perfect to receive love or to receive help. You guys are already divinely supported. You were born that way. You were born in the as a mirror of the divine. So you don't need to ask, or you don't need to deserve any of that. Do you get what I'm saying? You just deserve it right off the bat because you were born. So I feel like whatever happened in your past, you're now being asked to kind of, trust yourself, um, ask for help and receive things easily because you deserve it. We're going to get to more information. We're going to see what else happened in your past besides just this that might still be influencing you today. But there's another message saying that, you're not here to just pour into people endlessly. You're here to also be filled. Also, you're here to also be poured into by others. And you just need to remember your worth and that you were born divine. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a few more cards. Spirit, can you please tell me what happened in pile number 3's past that is still affecting? Ooh, okay. So I'm gonna pull this one. I know 2 others flipped over, but that one flipped over first. So you have the Moth. Okay. And then I also want to go ahead and pull a few here. Spirit, please tell me what happened in pile number 3's past that is still affecting them till this day. Okay, the Crown. The Crown has been coming out a lot. Okay, let's take the Crown, but I want to pull one more. I want to pull one more from here. I don't know if this card is bent a certain way because it comes out a lot, like a lot, which is why I want to pull another one just for accuracy's sake. Because I don't know if that card's a little bit bent, which is why it pops up a lot. I'm not sure, but let's just get one more. Spirit, can you give me one more about what has pile 3 been through in their past that is still affecting them today? Okay, so none are coming out so far. So maybe the Crown was meant to come out for you guys. Yeah, I think that's Spirit telling me the Crown was meant to come out. Let's try one more. Yep, okay, I'm taking it. I am taking it. Okay, so with the Moth, let's start with the Moth first before we get to the Crown. With the Moth, guys, I feel like whatever happened in your past, again, really affected your self-love, your self-worth, because with the Moth, I feel like some of you guys have some people-pleasing tendencies. For example, either, I'm not saying that you're manipulative, I just don't know which way to word this, but like sometimes you try to get people to like you, or some of you guys might really think like, okay, does this person like me? I hope they like me. Instead of thinking like, wait, do I like them? Do I want them to be a part of my life? So for example, instead of thinking, okay, does this person like me? I hope they like me. I feel like most of us should be thinking, okay, do I like that person? Like do I like them or do I not want them around me? So there's like a sense here that there's also this expectation of who you should be in the world, like I feel like that's very important to you, like who you should be in the world. But I feel like you're slowly kind of getting rid of this. I think especially next year as the months go by, I feel like you're going to get better and better at this because you're realizing that you no longer need validation. I feel like a lot of you guys felt like you needed validation to be loved, you needed validation to kind of see your worth, but you're realizing that you don't need that anymore. So whatever happened in your past, either like something happened in your past that really affected your self-worth. In these cards, the specifics are not coming up. Maybe when I draw a tarot card soon, the specifics will come up. But maybe some of you guys experienced some verbal abuse in the past, and that really brought down your self-worth, and your self-love. Or maybe you've had to be the responsible one in your household, the person who takes care of everyone, and maybe that kind of brought down your self-esteem, your self-worth. There's something that happened. Maybe I haven't mentioned your scenario yet, but we are going to get to tarot cards, so maybe we'll get some more information. But something happened in your past that till this day influences your need for validation, people-pleasing tendencies, and but again, you're realizing that you no longer need validation in order to be loved. So some of the positives coming out of that is that realization that love is an endless supply available to you at all times. You can give it to yourself whenever you need it, and it's not something that you need to earn. It's not something that you need, like you feel like you don't deserve, or some days you do deserve, So I feel like you know, when this card appears in your reading, I feel like you guys are ready to take off the mask you wear in society to please others or to kind of manipulate or control what other people think of you. So I feel like you guys are letting go of this control, and that's going to be very liberating for you. You know, you're going to be able to follow your truth more. So again, instead of in the future, instead of saying, I hope they like me, or you know, does this person like me? You know, I would like for you to think that, and all of this, me including, I need to think this way too, where we need to think, okay, do I like them? Do I want them to be around me? You know, because you do not need any validation in order to be loved. And I'm also seeing that you guys are going to be releasing the expectations of who you should be in the world, you know? And I think we kind of talked about that. And yes, even with the crown, so this card was meant to be here. I think Spirit told us that after I kept shuffling and shuffling, and it's like, nope, no other cards are coming out of this deck. This was meant to be here, and I see it. Why now? Because reading from the book, the crown means that because of something that happened in your past, that it seems like some of you guys were trying to please everyone around you except you. So you're doing everything for everyone around you, and you're kind of giving to everyone around you. You're giving your energy to them. You're giving to everyone around you except yourself. And, you know, I feel like that is ending. And again, no matter how much you climb, you know, no matter how much you give to others, you're never going to feel fulfilled if you're not giving to yourself. So, you know, I feel like all the blessings and anything that you want or need, you know, you deserve it, and pour it into yourself as well. There is something here about success as well. Like for some of you, it says that, you know, you can end up in a rat race of just like achieving one success after the other. This could be finances, this could be career, you know, like you keep achieving, you keep hustling, and you're earning all these titles, and maybe you're doing really well career-wise, but you know, it's saying that you can end up in a rat race of just hoarding things or achieving titles or achieving successes without even knowing where you were in the first place. So I don't know if that's a very specific message someone needs to hear, that you know, success can be different things for everyone, and sometimes you can get lost trying to achieve too many things without ever feeling fulfilled. So I'm not sure if one of you guys needs to hear that maybe you're kind of in this rat race of keep going, keep achieving, and again, you know, sometimes that doesn't make you feel fulfilled. Sometimes you need to pour into yourself, you know, and that can kind of make you feel fulfilled. But there's something you guys went through in your past, and again, there's some people-pleasing tendencies, which is one of the negatives, you know, from this. You know, it's influencing you till this day, but one of the negative ways it's influencing you is the people-pleasing tendencies, not pouring into yourself, feeling like maybe you don't deserve it, or that you have to work really hard to deserve it. And then one of the more positive things is that I feel like you guys are coming out of this. I think you are realizing, you know, like snapping out of the people-pleasing and all of that we talked about before. With this card. So those are some of the positives that are coming out of this. There's a message here from your spirit guides. Make sure your intentions and expectations align with the goodness of your heart. I think a lot of you guys are going to be very successful if you're not already successful, and you're going to achieve a lot. But Spirit is saying that you might achieve and never really feel fulfilled. So make sure you're pouring into yourself and you're giving yourself, you know, what you need. You don't need to wait for until you deserve it. You can give it to yourself right now because you're always deserving of it. I want to pull a card from this deck. I didn't really use this deck in the very first pile, but I do feel called to use, okay, hobby. So I don't know if you guys are working on a hobby that is very lucrative. Like maybe there's a hobby that you're working on that can give you success, or this is Spirit saying that instead of just achieving in your career financially, maybe you would benefit from a hobby, you know, like a hobby that makes you really happy. Or this can also be saying for some of you that maybe there's something that you're doing that's a hobby that, you know, can help you with their career, or maybe that's what you are kind of achieving right now. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is kind of telling you that you would benefit from maybe like a hobby that you really like, that is kind of therapeutic for you, and will make you feel happier and raise your vibration. So I feel like that's the message for most of you. Okay, let's pull a few more. Spirit, can you please tell me what happened in pile number 3's past that's still affecting them till this day? Okay, we have the card Achievement. Okay, Achievement. So we have the Sun in Capricorn. So here, I'm feeling like whoever's watching this pile, you guys feel a great sense of responsibility. I don't know if you guys have an actual responsibility from like to your like family members or your loved ones, or if you have some type of position, you know, in your career or something where you kind of maybe are a leader or something, or whatever your job is, maybe you feel like you have a great sense of responsibility. And I feel like you guys kind of feel like you have an obligation to set a good example for others, you know. There's something like that happening here, and I feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself for this. Maybe it's something that happened, actually this could be, you know, talking about your past, you know, where you feel like you had a great responsibility. We kind of talked about that up here too, where you feel like people used to come to you for advice, people would lean on you, you know, so you would be always giving to others, but you would never get it yourself. So I'm seeing the same thing here, where you've had some type of moral responsibility or some type of role that you had, where you felt like you felt like you had an obligation to like look good, or to give off a very how did I explain this before, like, yeah, like a powerful moral sense, or like a feeling of obligation to set a good example for others, you know, and also like give to others or help those around you. That's what I'm seeing here, like some type of great responsibility. I'm also for some reason getting like some type of commitment to a project. Again, I don't know if this is like your hobby, like you had some type of commitment or some responsibility regarding that, or again, this could just be a separate message from Spirit saying that you would benefit mentally, you know, or even physically from like engaging in a hobby. I think this is good for your mental health, so that's like a second message here. But yeah, so in your past, and something that still influences you till this day, is you having some type of great responsibility. Again, this could be at home, or this could be like work or something, where people had to lean on you, you know, had to confide in you, needed your help. So you poured a lot into others, but, you know, no one really poured back into you. And I feel like this still affects you till this day. And I feel like a lot of you guys might be, you know, getting your are hustling to achieve things, but just take a break and maybe pour into yourself, you know, do fun things for yourself instead of like work, or like achieve. I think that's maybe a message some of you guys might, you know, Spirit wanted some of you guys to hear. Not everyone might relate to this, but I think some of you guys will. And I want to pull one more card out of this deck. Spirit, can you tell me about what happens in pile number 3's past that is still affecting them today? What is still affecting them, Spirit? What is still affecting them? I saw a card want to jump out, but I think I actually shuffled it back in. Like, it didn't fly out, but it wanted to jump out. And I usually take it, but okay, we have one. It fell on the floor. Let me grab that. And we have speculation. Jupiter in Cancer. Okay. So with this card, there is something here about, and this might resonate for very few of you, but there's something here about maybe your home in the past, or maybe even now, has been used for some type of like religious gathering or some type of educational gathering, where someone's like, you know, doing lectures or discussing, like a group discussion, or even philosophical gatherings. Again, that might resonate for very few of you, but I'm seeing that popping up here. Another thing that Spirit wants me to say to you is for you to look into family. So for example, yeah, to look to your family for support. Again, there's something here that I feel like you've been helping everyone else your whole life, but like you haven't really allowed anyone else to pour into you, or you've never like, you haven't really asked anyone for help. But Spirit is saying that maybe ask your family for support if you need it, or even ask your family for financial help. I know that this isn't something you're used to, but if you need it, Spirit is saying do it, because you also deserve something too, you know? Like you went your whole life like maybe kind of people pleasing or pouring into others. Well, let someone do it for you. So if you need any type of help, whether it's financial or in any other area, Spirit is encouraging you to ask your family members or anyone. It doesn't have to be family, it could even be like close friends, you know, that you trust, but ask for help. This can even be in your job, career, etc. If you need help, ask for help. You will get it. And I'm also seeing that maybe some of you guys, this is again a message that might be for a few of you, maybe someone here is going to have a successful outcome to some type of property deal, like, you know, I don't know, buying property or something with property, but you're going to have a successful outcome. There's going to be either buying a house or an apartment that you really want or something, or some type of property, but it's going to go your way. Yeah, that is what I'm seeing. I'm also getting that some of you guys could be running a family business, possibly like running a family business, or like to benefit your family, you're doing something like maybe looking after the business, or maybe you yourself are working really hard financially to look after your family. Something like that's coming up here. Probably maybe it resonates for a few of you. And for some of you, maybe you guys have been through something like some legal issues that have to do with the business or the family. That's coming up too for a very few of you. But yeah, let me know if that resonates. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards to get more information. Spirit, please give me more information on what, okay, that was quick, on what pile 3 has gone through in the past and how is it affecting them till this day. How is it affecting them to this day? What have they gone through in the past, Spirit? What have they gone through? Okay. So this flipped over. Okay, let's go ahead and just flip this over too. So we have the Page of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. Okay. And now we have the Eight of Swords. Okay, I love this deck so much. It's called the Desert Illumination. Okay, so that one flipped over. So we're going to take it this way. We're going to take it reversed. Okay, and that one is the Eight of Cups. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups here. Let's go ahead and pull some more, Spirit. What happened in pile number 3's past that is still affecting them today? What has happened in pile number 3's past? Okay. And we have, oh my god, the Sun. I love this card. It is my favorite. It always makes me super happy. Okay. So again, guys, when I look into your past with these tarot cards, what really stands out to me is how emotionally open you've been and how emotionally giving you've always been. So with the Page of Cups, it shows that you came into situations with a very soft heart. You're very sensitive, empathetic, you know, willing to love, willing to help, emotionally investing in others, even when others weren't really meeting you at that same level that you were meeting them and giving into them. They weren't really giving into you the same level. I feel like you guys genuinely wanted connection, peace in the family, peace among your friend groups, peace in your life, and you often led emotionally and with your feelings first. But I feel like over time, I can see this turning into emotional disappointment, even a little bit of resentment. With the Four of Cups, I feel like there were moments where you felt overlooked or underappreciated or even like taken granted for. So maybe some of you guys like emotionally or even physically or financially were like taken advantage of. And it's like you kept offering your cup to people, kept offering and offering your love, your compassion, your, you know, maybe even help, maybe for some of you even financial help. Like you kept offering your cup to people and hoping someone would truly see you or choose you, but instead you've always felt ignored, you've always felt undervalued. I feel like this created some type of emotional numbness or withdrawal from, you know, from your side, where you started questioning if, you know, everything you're doing for other even matters. And I feel like this affected your self-worth or your self-love a little bit too. Like maybe you guys felt a little bit unloved or like, you know, not worthy. And now we get to the Eight of Swords. So this shows a like mental prison. You didn't create this on purpose, but you ended up being stuck in one because of everything you've gone through in the past. I feel like you began to believe you had to keep showing up for others, like it was your responsibility to keep the peace or to help everyone else. Like, yeah, it's like you began to believe that you really had to show up for others, give to others, keep the peace, be the understanding one, be the emotional support. Even when you felt drained and you needed support, you couldn't really tell anyone that you needed help or you needed support. Even when you felt drained, you told yourself that you couldn't say no or you couldn't leave or do certain things even though you wanted to, because of people-pleasing tendencies. I feel like these were limiting beliefs rooted in fear. So for example, fear of disappointing others, fear of being seen as selfish, fear of abandonment. So I feel like this is still kind of influencing you till this day. However, I feel like you are getting better at it. You're definitely starting to see it. You're getting better at it. And I feel like next year, so 2026 is right around the corner, you're going to improve on this drastically. And with the Eight of Cups reversed, I feel like this tells me that something very, yeah, like this tells me something very important. There was a point where you wanted to walk away from a situation or you wanted to walk away from whatever this was, or even the old version of yourself, you know, like I'm not doing this anymore, like I'm gonna take care of myself, you know, I'm not gonna keep giving to others. Like I feel like at one point you were willing to walk away from all of this, but you didn't. I feel like you kind of stayed longer than your soul wanted you to. You kept pouring into people or situations that were no longer emotionally fulfilling you because you felt guilty for leaving, or because you hoped things would finally change and they never really did. But with the Sun, I got so excited seeing this card. This is like my favorite card in the tarot deck. The Sun is happiness. It is the happiest card. So, you know, this is very powerful. This tells me that despite all of this that you've gone through, your true essence is joyful, warmth, you being your true authentic self. The Sun shows that your past didn't dim your light. You know, I feel like you still have that light. I feel like what's still influencing you today is, you know, basically what's influencing you today is, you know, who you were in the past and who you really are and who you had to be to survive emotionally back then. So I feel like you guys are learning now that your happiness and your rest and your, you know, you, yourself, your happiness and everything matters just as much as everyone else. You know, so I feel like you guys are finally realizing that. I feel like you're not putting up with certain things anymore. I feel like you're learning to say no when you don't want to. I feel like you're starting to pour into yourself more than you pour into others. And I feel like this is going to continue. You know, sometimes you may still have moments where you feel like you can't say no or you feel guilty saying no, but you are getting better and better and better, and it's going to keep getting better. I feel like the big lesson from your past is that you were taught to give love outwardly and give a lot outwardly before giving it to yourself. But now you're being called to reverse that. Give to yourself more first, inwardly, and then maybe if you want to and if you like these people, you can give outwardly, but choose yourself first. I feel like when you choose yourself, when you honor your emotional needs without feeling guilty, your life is going to become happier, it's going to become lighter, and it's going to become more aligned. You're not meant to like shrink yourself or sacrifice your joy for other people. You guys are meant to give to yourself first and live in joy first. okay? So that is the big thing I'm seeing here, guys. If any of this resonated, please give me a comment below. I want to see a comment from pile number 3 because I want you to tell me which part resonated with you guys, which part didn't. Did this resonate, and who were you giving to so much? Like, who was this? Like some type of family responsibility or something was showing up here. For some people, even family business. Like, please let me know in the comment section. I'm so curious if this resonated and what all of this was about. I will be looking out for your comment, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.